We try to come Friday nights, the community dinner, community night, when we try to come together as one family. May Allah keep us always united. Allah, bless our kids. May Allah put barakah in our kids. Allah, Actually, we talked today about the virtue of honoring our parents. And you saw how it is so important, especially the last Jumu'ah in the winter break. So before they go back to the school. It was so important to deliver that message to our young generations about the importance of honoring the parents. Because recently, the cases that I have been in, like I have been, listening to many of the cases recently, especially related to the relationship of the kids with their parents, which is not like, I can tell you, it's not healthy relationship. I can tell you lots of mistakes have been done and committed from both sides, and especially with the kids here, when they are affected by the Western culture, big difference. If you just remember how was you treated, like was you dealing with your father and mother at home, and the situation is completely different. But and that gives us more responsibility in the masjid, more responsibilities as imams, more responsibilities for the parents to clarify and to attain the friendship with their children, because it's only two ways. There is no third way. Whether you acquire them, whether you gain them, or you lose them. There's no middle. And I don't think, from my humble point of view, to have a child in the house without connection, for me, that is equal to lose your child. Because having him as just like a person in the house, going back and forth, sleeping in the house as a hotel, without that relationship, without that connection, this is something we need to be aware of. And I believe it's lots of responsibilities over all of us. And I hope that you guys enjoyed the story of Uwais al-Qarni, radiallahu anhu, the great tabi'i, the one that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked Sayyidina Umar, the companions, if you ever met him, ask him to make a dua for you. And what's the reason? Because he had a mother he used to honor. And there is something I didn't cover today during the khutbah because of the time. Allah had cured him from leprosy. You remember? So except what? A coin size, like dirham size, okay, in his shoulder. Do you know why? To be a to be a reminder of the ni'mah of Allah. Allahu Akbar. Which is something great, by the way. You might say he could cure him without leaving any mark, without leaving any spot left. But that mark, that spot, was to remind him of the favor of Allah on him. Subhanallah. And that's why, if Allah had tested you with something, do not, no, it's a sign of love. It could be a sign of love. Not every test means punishment. Not every test means punishment. Maybe Allah had tested you with some illness. Maybe because He wants to hear you say, Ya Rab. He wants to hear you while you are making dua for Him. Maybe if He took that illness from you, you will not be able to say, Ya Rab. You will not remember Allah. So Allah had made that to happen. That's just something on the side. And you remember the one who came from Yemen, and he said, I came to make an oath with you, to hijrah, to make jihad with you, and all of this, but I have left my parents crying there. So he said, go back, make them to laugh. as you have made them to cry. Well, what that gives you the sense of being in the servitude of your parents. It's an act of worship. It's an act of worship. And I remember one of the narrations, I don't remember exactly the chain right now of the transmission, but I remember the narration itself where it says that somebody one day, and a mother came to the judge complaining that her son does not eat with her. Her son does not sit with her to get dinner, to get lunch. So the judge had called the son, and he considered that as a disobedience. So he said, why you are disobeying your mom? She's calling you to come to dinner or to lunch, and you do not eat with her. He eats whenever she finishes. So the son said, you know what? Because I'm afraid that maybe I will stretch my hand to something that her eyes looked at and she wanted to eat from. I am afraid that my hand could go faster than the hand of my mother, and that could be counted as dishonoring. So that's why I stay away till she finishes. Then I go to eat. Can you imagine? Subhanallah, that Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, and this is also another narration, I didn't have much time to cover it. Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, one night, his mother had called him to get like a cold water. And you know what? He said, I went to get the water and I came, I found my mom had slept. So he stood next to the bed all the night until she woke up by herself. So he said, whether I wake up her and I'm afraid that to disturb her, or I could go, but I was afraid maybe she will wake up thirsty and she will need water. So he stayed all the night holding the jar, waiting for his mom to wake up so she can drink. Look at this. Look at those examples. Like when our kids nowadays hear it, astaghfirullah. You know, those who are shouting, yelling, screaming in the house, no, stop.
Get it yourself.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't want to go even far from this, because you know the next step, don't touch me, I will call the cops on your dad. That's crazy. That's crazy. That is something we feel ashamed as Muslims to happen in our communities. That could be made for some people. They might drink, they might go out of control, and that law was made for the protection of the kids. But when it comes to the Muslim communities with the rules and the ethics and the principles of honoring the parents, sometimes, you know, the kids misuse the law, misuse the usage of the law itself. And subhanallah, under that pressure, you find lots of parents from the other side are scared to death, like on the corner, to dictate. And I remember, yes. The disagreements in the opinion with respect. Like, listen, from the point of view of the Islam, disagreements that does not mean disrespect. I could disagree with my father, but with respect. Yes, خلاف في الرأي لا يفسد للود قضية. Disagreements in opinion, that does not corrupt the relationship between us. And that will not be considered as dishonoring. No. Disagreements with politeness, with respect. Like, you know, some of the Sahaba, their parents were disbelievers, and they used to give them bad names. They used to insult their religion. And he used to say, what? Okay, I only respect you, and no matter what you have done, I cannot respond back. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَإِن جَاهَدَاكَ, if they did everything possible to make you associate partners with me, do not obey them. This is the only exception. Do not obey them. But وَصَاحِبُهُمَا فِي الدُّنْيَا مَعْرُوفًا, be kind to them. Be in their company with gentleness. That's Islam. So I remember when I I came, I think that was in 2018. No, so became old now. See, Brother Hamza,
6 years.
yeah, 6 years. Brother Hamza, I wish that he makes this laugh with good intention, not mocking you. Oh, Imam, 6 years, come on. You're still young. Yes, it's only the intention. So just making fun of me or what? Okay, alhamdulillah. May Allah bless you always. Allahumma ameen. So that was at that time, subhanallah, and I was talking with one of the parents about the memorization of the Quran of his child. I said, you should follow him. You should teach him more. You should try with him more and more and more. He said, no. That's his choice. If he wanted to memorize, otherwise he might call the police on me. He said, what? To ask your child to memorize Quran? He said, do not be so panicked. Like, that's your rule as a father. He said, no, I will ask him, do you want? Otherwise, I will not put pressure on him. He said, just try to make him love the Quran, not with pressure. Give him candy, give him something, tell him stories, take him outside for ice cream, do something. You know that idea? So parenting is not an easy job nowadays with the social media and all of the challenges that we have nowadays. But at the same time, we have a golden rule, actually, which never, ever failed. Never, ever failed. Which is leading by example. And let me give you 2 examples. You know Sayyiduna Nuh alayhi salam, right? Called his son for what? To be saved. Oh, my son, come ride with us. Did he listen? No. Ibrahim alayhi salam called his son for what? For death. Did he answer? Yes, he responded positively. And see, that's the big difference. A father calling his son for death and he says, yes, my father. Another son is called for safety and he refuses. Subhanallah. And that's why, let me remind my father. Huh? The first one, the one who said to his father, yes. Sorry, I mean, the second one, Ismail, when he said to his father, yes, because the son of Nuh alayhi salam refused. But let me remind my father, yes. It's hidayah from Allah. That's my point. Sometimes leading by example does not work. This is what the Quran said. Yes, this is the basic and general rule, but sometimes you have people outside that ruling. Another example, who raised up Moses? Fir'aun, the righteous man Fir'aun. And he brought to us Moses. And who took care of Yusuf when he was young? Ziz in Egypt, right? And now he gave us Yusuf alayhi salam. So all these examples that tells us, and subhanallah, look at the story of That's why Allah, it's sunnah to recite Surah Al-Kahf, right? So a child was killed by the order of Allah because of the righteousness of his parents, because he would give them hard time. And another two children were served by two of the prophets. If we follow the way that tells Al-Khidr is a prophet, were served by two of the prophets because of the righteousness of their parents. And they rebuilt and fixed the wall for them, the two orphans. And that tells you, do your part, be a good example, be righteous as a father, as a mother, do your part, and then leave everything in the hands of Allah. And that's it. And I just want to ask my father, he used to give me that example. كنا بنقول ما لك نربي من عند ربي ما لك نربي قال من عند ربي. So this is a proverb. I used to hear it from him when I was young. How did you raise up your child? Because the word to raise up, it's called murabbi. You know tarbiyah? You know tarbiyat. In order you have tarbiyat? Okay, murabbi. He said, how did you was a murabbi for that child? He said, it's not me, it's from my Rabbi. So to get that murabbi from Rabbi, that's the proverb that we used to have. Malak marabbi al min and Rabbi. Yes, how did you raise him up? He said, it's not mine, it's Allah who took care of him. Subhanallah. So make the dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why in the characteristics of the muttaqin, وَالَّذِينَ يَقُولُونَ رَبَّنَا هَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا وَذُرِّيَّاتِنَا قُرَّةَ أَعْيُنٍ. The characteristics of the muttaqin, those who are always saying in a constant state of making that dua, oh Allah, grant for us from our spouses, from our partners, from our offspring, the coolness of our eyes. Ameen ya Rabbi. Jazakumullah khairan. Barakallahu feekum. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fix our houses and fix our kids and fix all of us. Allahumma ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. May Allah grant us Jannatul Firdaus. Ya Rabbil Alameen. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Quran al-Azim. Wanna thank all of you for your coming. Wanna thank Brother Abdul Basit for the hard work. Yes, and he said, Imam, you came late. You didn't help me pulling the tables. So I want to thank Sister Samana. Inshallah, we are missing Brother Faisal. We are waiting for Brother Ahsan, Sister Tasnur to come back, inshallah. May Allah bless you all. Allahumma ameen. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.